Welcome back, everyone. Drake Hawkins with again for some more Ymir. We're back in our Season 3 Let's Play in Truffleton here. The chiefdom of Solaria, Mr. Ramble Bumbleberg, is preparing to change up some things in the town and add in animal husbandry, at least in the minor detail. We don't have the tech to actually raise and train them, or I guess not train them, raise and breed our own, but we can actually capture them and stick them in paddocks for now. So hopefully if we can do that and get our butchery side of things going, maybe, oh, that's a beautiful lush fields of rice, maybe if we can do that, then we can also afford to kind of spur the idea, I should say, of producing crops, or animals, in a way that's actually good for us. So I'm going to click this button down here and just shuffle this guy right on, or not. There we go, just shuffle him down a ways there. Now, buildings-wise, we need a couple things. We are going to have a butchery, the butcher, and the baker, and the candlestick maker. I'm going to put one butcher in there, that's it for now. Secondarily, I'm going to take the paddocks, and we're going to build them probably up along the back quarter here. I want to actually look at our fortification space, because I want to see where kind of the actual barriers are. Oh, there's not much barrier going on there, huh? Okay. Leg. Paddocks, there we go. I heard the click. I don't think it likes functioning in this mode. It's when you switch them, it reloads the entire screen. It'd be interesting if there was a way for the code to actually load both visuals and then just swap the visual overlay. I'm not sure if that's something that's, like, it just seems like a thing to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. The paddocks over here might be a nice idea. I think we'll do that. We have a space for road if we put them up here. They can go right in along the fence line. Future fence line. I'm kind of thinking ahead for our structural layout here. Our jungle empire. The edifice of great jungleness. So these have to be critical. And the reason is, well, yeah, they're food-related or buildings. So I'm going to set these all to critical to make sure they come before things like lumber and gathering clay and all the rest. I don't care if the butcher is set to high priority, because I'm fine with them just keeping... I just want to make sure those things stay stocked, because if they're not, at any point, if they go for a tick or two being unstocked, then the animals leave and they become just stock walking around on the floor, and if they stay there for more than a very short period of time, they become toodaloo. They walk away. They leave. We lose them all. So we don't want that. We want to make sure this and this stay fully stocked, because hopefully they will help us continue to do this. We're at 5.5 per 3 minutes. That's pretty good. Active population gaining by 1 every 3 minutes. Total population going by 5.5. That's fine. So our actives... Where does it show our active? Next generation gains 52 porcos. Generation on this mode is 30 minutes. And I believe in persistent in relation, a single generation is 24 hours. Alright, just so you know. So instead this would be 24 hours. This would be... that's 28 times as long. So this would probably be 28 times as long. So yeah, super slow motion compared to what we're doing here. This is just blasting heads so darn fast, I'm really genuinely having trouble. You notice I haven't used the speed timer. So this solo mode has definitely changed things. Alright, so we've got paddocks. Now, the next priority is to pull all our people out of work. I want to make sure that we actually have a new formation here. And a new technology. Okay. This is our old pigs army. No. The sad wolves. Truffleton's slayers. That sounds like the dirty half-hundred. Alright. Sounds good. We're going to go to set up a javelin army here. Now, population-wise that we have is not great. It's going to take 15 porcos out of our workforce. Right? What was that technology? This is mine. We'll talk about that in a moment. The dirty half hundred. Now you got, you know what? For this job, I'm going to add just another swatch of these guys. They have carrying capacity of 3. I don't need any carriers for this because we're not hunting the meat. We're going to go there. We're going to go out to the map and let them... Notice I added in 30 guys and it reset the the action points. So be aware of that if you're ever switching your armies. When you mess with their layout at all, it affects their readiness, their action points. Okay, we have... yes, state power, something we're going to have a look at shortly, and all of the political side of things. But the armies cost state power. But if we look into the city, the loyalty is actually increasing. Right now it's sitting at 57. It's increasing to 83. Every point of military, which we have 30 now, is going to add 1%, 1 point to our loyalty, I think, at this point. Give or take. Because we're jumping up by almost 30 points. And the militia, on the other hand, is the opposite. So if we look actually over to conflict loyalty, there we go. Population, 100. How population factor affects the loyalty of your territory? So we don't have too much population to reduce loyalty. They're perfectly fine with the size of it. We're not overpopulated at all. It's not, the population is not bringing down, volume of population is not bringing anything down, and the culture is entirely just our state culture. So we're not losing anything there. State is what we have to look at here. Now we have +7. How global state factors affect the loyalty of the territory? State legitimacy is giving us a +5 to loyalty. State power is giving us a +2. We're not having any taxes or privileges causing that. Privileges is the leader, we don't have yet, stealing, basically taking a percentage for himself. Authority, now -24. How the different factors of authority affect the loyalty of the territory. State troopers. State troops are the army right here. Okay, they're giving us a +28. I'm not sure why +28 instead of 30, but whatever. Guards would be actual guards in a guard tower. Local garrison is the militia. Notice that's a negative. That reduces your loyalty, whereas standing army increases your loyalty. The amount of population. Okay, the more population there is, the less authority. The total amount of population reduces the loyalty, the territory's loyalty. So I was saying population up here is 100. That's culture only. So this one is reduced by 4. So very, very little, having 226 porcos. Conflict is causing a reduction of loyalty. So these two counter each other. The higher your conflict is, the lower down your loyalty will be forced in conjunction. Events like that one we said, you know, old guy will listen to you, cost a 20 loyalty for a time being, and that's gone away. Resistance is when the place is having rebellions, and temporary events from state and unrest and revolt temporarily increases loyalty. Loyalty to the territory. Recent unrest and revolts temporarily increase loyalty to the territory. So if you survive a revolt, you got a revolution happens, your army beats it back, beats it down. There's a time frame where they'll have a big boost to the loyalty, so that because we fended them off and nobody's going to try it again for a while. That sort of scenario. So having said all that, we just wasted a ton of time, as we do. But we have a nice and fully charged army here. The dirty half hundred is going to go capture. Sorry, clicking noises, fiddling. It takes them 11 to get there, and then it's going to take them 15 points to capture. Now they're going to possibly kill off some of these llamas, but there are 8 of them there, and hopefully, there we go. Llamas do produce wool. Excellent. That was what I was hoping. Now, if they're wandering naturally in the tropics, I would imagine that animal can be captured and later used to raise herds in the area. So that's fantastic. Property. This is mine. The tribe is now growing bigger, and since we decided to settle down, we now have many objects and tools, much more than what the ancients used to have in the nomadic lives. But a strange thing has happened, as this abundance of things seems to be creating tension amongst us. Some porcos, there's a telling statement on human society, and I mean, quote, porco society. Some porcos who spent a lot of time crafting things resent having to share them with others they don't feel are doing as much as them. One porco is proposing that we all agree not to take anything from another family without their permission. A strange concept, but these are strange times. Love it. These descriptions just make me happy. Well done. Well done, Mr. I don't remember his name. Mumok Games. We'll use the dev name, the game name. That won't take almost any time to succeed. There's the Hunt of 8 Llamas. Did we capture? Oh, those aren't kills. Oh man, we only looted 4 of them. That was a rough. Oh, what? Really? Seriously? Is there still some sitting there? There's 3 still there, so let's tell you guys to capture again. Take another action, see if you can grab some more. Alright, this is mine, has successfully been completed. Now, oh, I thought that was an attack. That's alright, we have our militia still defending the base. So, while they're fighting that, let's have a look. Speed still on normal? Good. Let's have a look at the policies. There's a couple new policies we can do. Now, 4 categories. State power is at 5 right now. We get 15 or 25 positive. We have minus 15 from civics and minus 5 from formations. That's our army. We'll look at where that comes from in a moment. Legitimacy, honor is not something that I've previously seen that you can get very effectively. Something just switched. I just got a message. Oh, no new policies are available, so we can't actually add anything here. People's approval is giving us +5. We'll explain that in a moment as well. Currency, we will not explain in a moment because we are far from interacting with that. But I'll be back to that in 20 seconds. We're going to start here on the right-hand side in the social category because we can change this. We can add nothing, but we could choose food rationing and remove it. Now, let's consider each of these and why you may or may not want to. I know this is somewhat tutorial-ish, and I'm being less than efficient at building the place as quickly as I could be, but I want to talk through these things for you to kind of give you more of a grasp of the game, right? And the depth of this. This is pretty crazy. So, this is costing us 15 crowns. Those are our state power. Notice down here we have the civics. The power cost maintaining all our currently active civics. These are all civics. Anything we activate in here. So right now this is a civic, this is a civic, and so on. All of our civic conditions. All these things that we can choose in each of these categories. That's causing a minus 15 to our state power, which has various different effects on different things. Minus 40% food consumption is the first one. The effect is, let's read it. The rationing of food reduces the food consumption of each porco. In times of food shortage, it helps improve everyone's access to food. So each individual is only able to consume 60% of their normal amount, but they also consume less, so everybody gets a share. They basically tighten up their belts in this time. But what does that do? Well, that causes them to be less efficient. They consume less food, but they're less efficient at working in buildings. So our tool makers, our miners, everybody, our farmers, everybody's going to have less efficiency when working in a building because they're a little hungry, and being constantly hungry makes you less efficient. This plus, that's minus 25% building efficiency. So if we revoked it, we could improve the building efficiency. The plus 40% population conflict modifies the conflict of population. We saw that when we were looking in, where was it? Well, we'll have to look again when we get zoomed into the city. But the conflict of our porcos was a thing that was on the top that would reduce loyalty. We can reduce that, essentially. This plus is actually increasing conflict, which is a bad thing in most cases. Then there's the population stress. Modify the stress of the population. So this is actually, as far as I understand it, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand this population stress being the amount of population growth that's allowed before it causes problems, how quickly things grow, and so on, somewhere in that sort of feature. So again, a population stress is a negative to us, but a positive number here is actually bad for the overall growth of the economy, or of the people. So we're going to go ahead and revoke that. Now that we've got most of our food stuff under control, we were feeding everybody like, what, 85, 95%? We're going to revoke this, and it's going to do a couple things. It's not going to cost us the state power anymore. So now our state power jumps to 20. That'll have effects in different places, but we now actually have a major change in our food costs. Mission completed. Biggest producer. What were we supposed to produce? Water, I think? I don't know. I think that might have been it. So our water, right, because we changed the building efficiency, so those things changed. Now, you guys seem to have gathered, well, we got 6 llamas. Let's head back to town here and get back into Truffleton, have a look at it, and then we'll look at the other parts of that political tree, because that's important, really important at this point to start understanding as we go forward, because we're going to start to get into actually interacting in our local political economy. Or again, this is single player, so all of the diplomacy side of things won't exist, but the politics, the local politics, still will. I love loading up to see that giant, huge field of rice. That's fantastic. All right, so remember before these guys were producing 1.3. They can now produce a little bit more because the state... There we go. State efficiency is not as bad. Building efficiency is not as bad as it was before. Slightly improving the amount of food. Now, having said that, we're probably feeding them with a lot less. Yeah, less food is getting to all the people. Well, now they're still at a decent percentage. Let's look over here on the resources and look at our rice storage. Yeah, see, now they're asking for 8.8. Way more demands than before. They've got a 40% increase to the overall demand of each of these crops. So before we go any further onto the politics, I am going to have to tend to the local needs here. 12. Okay, the efficiency of 0.8. I think it was lower before, but right now, if you look, I'll close this for a second. I'm going to look at that farm again we had down here. Our rice farm. Yeah, see, you are now at 78%. So we could substantially add. 15 does not tax his work now. He's making 0.1 or 1.4, but he's way underworking. They're getting lazy now. So if we go ahead and we add rice fields here, we can see how many we can add to this one farmer. Let's give him, I don't know, 3 or 4 for now. Let's give him 3 more. So we had 15. Now he's got 18, and he's at 93%, making 1.7 crops. See what I mean? Like, the politics makes a huge, the internal politics makes a huge difference in all of your efficiencies. Now he's using 98% of his work at 18. We're gonna give him one more because we've got the rice to spare and we've got the hose all over the place to spare. In fact, I'm gonna go over here. You can tell this one building here to switch from doing hose to doing hammers, so we start stockpiling those again. Yeah. We're going to use up probably half or more of the hose that we've got there right away. Our corn production is at 62%, so we can go ahead and use up probably all of the corn that we've got here. There, and let's see if we can... I don't want to go below 2.5, so let's just do that and keep going across here. 2, 3, what did we have before? I went and forgot already. 15 so far at 78%. So we're going to go give them another 5 and see where that takes us overall. There, and let's go this way. Not the absolute best crop spots. 18. 19. And we could fit one, not up, though we could fit one up there. That's 1.1, 2.8. Oh, let's go with the 3 there. Alright, now, remember, he doesn't have all of these at 3.0, but he's got 20 and he's producing 1.7 with 100% usage. This guy probably has slightly better. Yeah, 1.8, because his crops on average are a higher efficiency than previously used. So, that's excellent. The llama reference, good, got that. Now, we brought back, I gotta interrupt our farm work because there's so much to go on all at once. Oh, what's this? A violent storm raged all night in Truffleton with strong winds. Luckily, no one was harmed in the village, and the village didn't sustain any damage. In the morning, however, the villagers noticed that a few tall old trees had fallen nearby, making it an easy supply of wood. Fantastic. Received 20. There, and they're ready, and they're housed. So let's talk to the army guys, the dirty half-hundred here, and tell them to unload their super beautiful wares. You can unload all 6 of those. Before we do anything with the army, we'll go here and have a look. He's got 2. Look at that. We got 6 llamas stocked in the village. Now I'm going to go to the resource here and tell them to maintain 4. Okay, that should be sufficient to start with. They're using 0.1, and that's being used in the butcher here. It takes them 10 cycles of use to produce enough from the 0.1. No, sorry, 0.1 per minute in this production. Okay. 75%. Could we hire somebody else? 1.2, we're making 0.2 wool. Excellent. So we're going to have to be able to, we definitely want to produce a lot of llamas, because they're going to be our textile industry. We don't have the ability to do cotton here, and I don't think we can do flax in the jungles. You guys can let me know if we can do cotton or flax in the jungle. But having llamas will allow us to do clothing. Now, back to the farming, because that's pretty much always where you spend all your time early on. We have 2 corn there. I think we'll wait before we put the next cornfields in. We do want our beans to be boosted up. This guy's again at 78. Let's go with, he's got 15 running there. Let's go 2, 3, 4, and 5. That should bring you to 100% at 20 and 1.8 bean production. Nice. This is helping. We have 11 here. We need to add 9 more beans for this guy. 1, 2. We're not going to have that many, are we? Maybe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I hope. I hope I did that right. 22. I really didn't do that right. I overdid by 2. Now, I can remove those, but I don't know if I get everything back from them. I could just left them, and then in future he would have less needed to be added to his collection. You're making 0.2 beans still, because you have some naturally occurring sources, apparently. We got 5 bean crops for him to get started on. That's good. I want there. Sort of. There, and actually, oh, you were able to make one more. Rounding for the win. There. Oh, you got lots. I miscalculated. I must have been looking at the corn or something. Okay, can't put one more in there, but you can grab... you know what? That's fine. 1 Porco to rule them all! Excellent. All these talks to try convincing every one of the tribe to do anything are just taking too long. Too much talking, too much negotiating, too much time wasted. Some are more worthy to rule than others anyways. And it should be you, of course. You just knew it. All you could do if you weren't slowed down by having to convince everyone else every time. Democracy. What a silly thing. It was fine before, but now the village has grown and there's just too many people. We must have 1 Ramble-Bumble-Bird Porco to rule them all. 8 a tech, that's going to cost us leadership and some some officials, not all old pigs, just people holding the officials role right now. And 77% chance. Good. Let's do that. That will introduce local politics, a leader, and all sorts of fun stuff. So, that's used up all our beans and most of our corn. We could probably go ahead and get another corn stock going. We could upgrade these guys real good here. I think we'll do that. Get the rice over the edge again. Till we have too much rice for everybody. I think we'll continue down this road over here. Let's go this way and continue like this. 4 and I think 5 should do. Just adding enough to bring him up to 20. Good. And 1.8 there now. And you are also 15 at 1.4. You can add 5 more rice tiles here, and that will make this work better. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I think, correct me if I'm wrong if you know, but I think overlaying these natural crop points eventually makes them disappear permanently, which I'm actually okay with because they're never going to be as efficient or as effective or necessary. One Porco to rule them all. Well, we'll get back to that one Porco real quickly here. How are you doing, bean guys? You have 6. We'll throw you in another 1 or 2 bean stalks there. There you go. We managed to get 2 out of it. Wait, another one? Really? Oh, we must have just harvested as I was talking. That's fine. I'm okay with that. There we go. Now we've got 3 corn, and this guy is full, correct? He is. Alright, he's making 1.7 corn. That's fantastic. Do we have any other farmers working? I think we need to probably hire some more, but is there any tiles still covered? Why are these? Oh, they're still being grabbed by that guy, but that's fine. And up here, do we have him going still? Nope, he's done. Okay, so we're going to have to build another corn farmer over here. Somewhere. Oh, what? Oops, I guess we found a spot for him. Not where I meant to put that, but that's fine. I think they can actually tuck right into here, right? Yeah, they probably can. There and somewhere. Can you get tucked in over here somewhere too? You can. Look at that. The cliffs. Look at that. That would be a beautiful little farming house, eh? Overlooking your giant cornfields. Oh, lovely. Lovely bunch of corns. Alright. You are on critical. Good. I gotta make sure all of these guys are set to critical again. Because that is vitally important. It's even could be considered critical. You are gonna start there. Ooh, and then I'll get a lag spike. 2, 3, 4. Don't know how much corn we've got. 1 left, maybe. 5. Yeah, not gonna get that. Okay, that's all right. 5 is better than nothing. He's set to critical with nobody working it. Okay, that's fine. And you guys are all critical. And there. And there. I'm just right-clicking off to deactivate them. Or to close those windows that are open. Any window that's open like that, you can close with the right-click. Okay. I don't think the fisheries upgrade comes for quite a while. And we only have 1 source, so we can never get more out of that. We're still housing our llamas nicely. That's great. Now, llamas will reproduce when we have proper pastures and stuff for them. We can't make those yet. Looks like community is not quite entirely utilized, taken care of with these, with this one form, but doing pretty good. Our population's kind of stagnant at the moment. They are mostly covered with community supply or services, though. We have no old pigs left. That's unfortunate. If we go to growth, old pigs are at 0 variant right now. Aging population becoming old pigs, 39 dying from sickness and 4 being murdered. I feel like that's not even possible. Making new animals. Told ya we could get this one. Animal breeding is going to be awesome. So that's going to add a balance of meat supply as well as that wool that we talked about and better leather supply. That's going to be fantastic. No idea where we're going to put them, and I don't recall if they need fertility in their soil. I'll maybe check into that. Now, something I've been meaning to check is the housing difference. We now have a new type of housing available. It takes stone and leather and wood and hammers, and it goes from 5 life quality and 6 health up a little bit to 8 life quality and 8 health, which is pretty fantastic. Doesn't look like we actually have anybody being a doctor, do we? No. I think I'd like that over, say, some of our base resources, but I'm not sure if it's going to be life or death. Nudge, nudge. Haha, just kidding. You can go back to low priority, and you can come online, so if we have the surplus population, we can deal with that. Alright, so before we wrap it up here, we'll have that technology set up. What else needs to be... Well, we talked about the politics earlier, so let's finish off with that discussion. So our food rationing we changed. That's pretty much all we did, right? And then we have the gift economy. So this is what was being discussed, causing some of the conflict. And if you look at it, population conflict plus 200%. So pretty much all the conflict in the place is caused by somebody taking something that somebody else thought was theirs by right of I made it, I worked harder, I deserve it, blah, blah, blah. Population stress is negative there. And then there is building efficiency again here. So changing out of that gift economy to something better might be worth considering. But it's going to change everything. Legitimacy, on the other hand, we just... making new animals. Excellent. We'll have to tend to that right away here as well. Possibly not till next episode. So, because I'm babbling here. Let's look at this. So, the other thing, legitimacy and power. We'll look at the power first. Band society is what we currently have. We could now change to a leadership from the one recognized leader to rule them all, i.e. us. Now, we actually can switch to that. Let's compare the two. 25 state power, we're using up 5 of it, goes up to 60 state power. Our administration, we haven't talked about that, but it is a local administrative capacity to do things and to control territory around us. Currently, we only get 50 from band society. We get double that up to 100 from switching to leadership. Band society provides a 100% increased population conflict. So with that and the other 200 and the other 50 or whatever we had, we were really high conflict for a small number of people. This one, if you notice, there is no population conflict listed here. It does not cause that. So we basically save 100% of our conflict. Importance of people's approval goes a +1 and +10 to actual people approval in the current setup. Now, we also now switch. We remove both of those and we get +1 capital leader and leadership superiority. So it switches from being people's approval to being I'm the leader, I have superiority. It's an interesting twist. Now, this is a little bit of a kicker. Enables the leader's personal contributions. Leader can contribute to the government's finances with his own wealth. This reduces his wealth. So, a percentage of his own money can go towards, which we don't have as a currency. Basically, he becomes a lord in the feudal sense and is then financially responsible for his domain. And this particular town would be considered his domain. So finances, and I'm gonna put this to 75%. So the percentage of actually I think we need to invoke the reform first. Switched up. There we go. Yeah, and then the leadership percentage is now a thing I can set to 75. There we go, and apply the reform, switches it up to 75. Now, so what that's done is given us a major boost to state power. And if you look over here, we have nothing, we have state power, but it's not, none of these things are, these are all grayed out, okay? Currently has no effect, no influence over our legitimacy. The military doesn't. So we can do 2 of these new edicts from recent changes. Protector of the people. I rule because I am in charge of protecting the people. The importance of military strength now affects our legitimacy. So if we add that in and apply that reform, we now get +20 legitimacy, which will affect various different things. Legitimacy is how much the people recognize you, recognize the right of your state's claim to authority, which are defined by your active legitimacy policies. These affect the positive and negative influence of all the different legitimacy factors. We can go ahead and add the common good here as well. I rule for the people. Importance of the Senate, importance of the ministry. I don't know that those are even implemented or if they're texts that we have to get at some point. It says not yet implemented, but then so does people's approval. even though we were just experiencing people approval there. So I'm not sure how that religiosity I haven't seen in the game yet. Parliamentary power I haven't seen, but this one I have. People's approval I've seen, and so saying not implemented may not be that it's not in the game yet. It may be that we haven't experienced it yet as our society. We're not doing food rationing anymore, and there's nothing else to add there. The economy has not changed out of our regular gift economy where everybody can just grab whatever they want. We are still having 5 loss of state power to the military. So, what's this? Keeping the best plants. Oh, hello. Plant selection. So this is going to actually... Let's read it again. What if by keeping the plants that gave the best results and replanting only those, we could improve the whole production? This is possibly going to take a while, but if we keep going, keep doing this, our culture could greatly improve. Cultures could greatly improve, as in cultures of rice and so on. Keep the best rice, replant from the seeds of the best rice. That's the concept. Love it, and it's called... something selection. It's not natural selection. It's not sexual selection. It's intentional farmers selection. I'm not sure what the term is for that, and I'm blanking on it for some reason. Oops. Alright, so we've managed to stock up more. We got our rice capped at 40 now. So all of our production from our rice is going to our people. I'm not sure why it's only 3.3. Something is wonky there. Oh, we just put a bunch of farmers to work, of course. So it's going to be like 5 point something. We'll have a look at that next episode after the research finishes. Corn we are also producing, but all the farmers are going to be lower production at the moment. So we're going to put in a cut here because this is past our time, and I do not want these to become long drawn out episodes. I want to be able to get through a full week's of production and show the game off okay to you guys in the short term. Now, right now we have llamas being consumed. I'm going to switch this to 5 to save that last llama's life. There we go. Now, which means we will not be able to use up llamas, which means our butcher is now going to be a little bored because he got nothing to do. But tell him to go sleep for a while, get him to go work somewhere else. Because we also have the technology that allows us to build places for animals to work. And that, or animals to be bred, that should be in right there, cattle farm. It's amazing. It's really tiny, and I don't know why, but we will know why next episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're enjoying this series, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know in the comments if you have questions, any feedback, things that I mentioned that were inaccurate, or vice versa. Let me know. Very much appreciate the feedback. We're going to go ahead and disband both of these fellows and get them back to work. So we have ample manpower to get back to make Truffleton a real awesome powerhouse of a place. We actually have some inactives now, which is great. We can get them to work elsewhere. Conflict is decreasing to 0 because of our changes in our politics. Our loyalty is increasing to 92. That might adjust now that the military's changed, but we've changed things politically pretty aggressively recently. Some upheaval in the political side of things. We have a doctor and we have a leader, and this leader is us. He's our local leader. So he's getting pretty good on the furnishings. He's getting some pottery there, and he's got all the social access he wants. We've got growth happening in the village. Things are looking up and doing well for this latest episode of our 7-day look at Ymir in its current state. Thank you everybody for joining me. If you want, check it out. On Saturday we'll be live streaming not this map, but a multiplayer real-time version closer to the intent of the game. The persistent worlds are available if you want to play the game. If you do play the game, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate knowing how many people are just kind of browsing an interesting idea versus how many people are actually play the game and looking for feedback or information about that. Hints, tips, and tricks, as always, are appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in game.